Get access to exclusive videos and more, and support the channel on patreon.com/manlightfoot. This video is sponsored by Manta Sleep. I'm someone who definitely enjoys my sleep. Who doesn't? After you've gone through a whole work day on your feet or in a seat, being able to relax in a nice bed is what anyone would want. But to do so during the day for a nap can be cumbersome, especially if you're someone a part of the nap movement and you just don't like having to deal with a lot of light. That's why I'm glad Manta Sleep gave me their sleep mask. This mask is an incredible sleep aid that can get you through some rough nights.
Oh yeah.
The bad kind, obviously. With the Manta Sleep Mask, it has these eye cups specifically made for blocking out light, leaving you to get those precious hours for your beauty sleep. You don't have to worry about any light getting through at all. Even when you wake up, you'll feel like it's still dark out. And no matter what position you sleep in, be it on your back or on your side or stomach, the mask will stay on. Thanks to the adjustable strap you can fit to your comfort. But you might be thinking, what about noise? Well, Manta Sleep has you covered with their white noise machine. A nice piece of tech with a cool assortment of background noises to dream away to. You can get your hands on these awesome sleep helpers and more over on the Manta Sleep website. You'll even find more stuff from them like earplugs, pillows, or even the other sleep mask accessories like the steam or cold eye cup attachments to help you get the best night's sleep. Using the code THOUGHTS, you can get 10% off your purchase of the sleep mask or any other accessory on their website. This is an amazing offer for something you're definitely going to get a lot out of. Head on over to Manta Sleep's website to get your own mask and white noise machine and let your dreams carry away. I don't know why you dream of that, but thanks to Manta Sleep for the sponsorship, and now on to the video.
Lunchtime! Oh no! Yay!
Damn, nature, you scary!
Did you ever think Pixar would make a Cartoon Network movie?
No.
That's basically how Hoppers felt. It makes sense when you remember this is directed by Daniel Chong of We Bare Bears fame. A show that had a fair amount of wacky but subdued comedy to it, but also could have some heart-tugging moments as well. That Grizz and Burrito episode still sticks with me. Not to mention it can have some great animation to wrap it all up nicely. So when it was announced that Daniel Chong was on board as the director, my curiosity was definitely piqued. Then the trailers dropped and sadly was another case of bad trailer-citis. You know, where it only focused more on the comedy. Though I'll admit that Missy Elliott made me buy a ticket. Thankfully, the comedy was good enough to invoke interest for people. That, and it was most likely a way to get the kids to hush for a little bit. But after seeing the movie, they sure as hell were underselling it. This is such a sincere save the environment film that's barely shown in the trailers. There's a sincerity about taking care of animals and the place they have to share with humans. It gives a crap without making the movie feel like it's just a message film. Though, it does make this work with a bit of morbidity to it.
Still alive?
Rule number 2, when you gotta eat, eat.
Oh, that's brutal.
So, what's the story? Mabel is a college student with a major love for animals. Side note, it's not lost on me that this is another Disney Mabel. Her love for nature is due to her grandmother teaching her about appreciating its true beauty, especially since Mabel can let her emotions get the best of her when it comes to her want to protect nature. So much so that she goes out of her way to sabotage city projects like a new highway that threatens an animal habitat called the Glades, which her efforts to save the Glades goes up in smokes if there's no animals around to claim the spot. So says the sleazy Mayor Jerry, who Mabel's at odds with.
You suck!
But Mabel comes across her professor's experimental beaver robot that works on Avatar technology.
This is nothing like Avatar.
Whatever. Disney, stop referencing yourselves. Mabel now assumes a beaver identity to go undercover and convince the animals to save their homes. This results in Mabel meeting all kinds of woodland critters under the kind beaver king named George. It's just George, y'all. They did not go for any animal pun names in this movie. Who all live by the laws of nature. But things go wrong when she ends up driving all of the animal kingdoms to rise up against their human oppressors. Now it's up to Mabel to stop all the animals from taking vengeance on humans. I've seen some out there Pixar movies.
Out there's a world outside of Yonkers.
Okay, maybe Hoppers ain't that out there, but it definitely was different from how you would expect a Pixar movie to carry itself. There's a heavy lean on the comedy in this, with the characters acting pretty goofy in their own unique ways. Mabel is someone who's very passionate about nature, even going as far as to make pretty irrational decisions to defend it, like standing on top of a dynamite-filled beaver dam to stop the destruction. What? I did say she can make irrational decisions. Even though she can be a lot when it comes to doing the right thing, her motivations are genuine. She has a strong connection to nature, which she's learned through her grandma who passed. which of course they gotta give the main character a dead family member. She's a Disney character after all. Mabel's story revolves around her trying to take in her grandma's lessons while also preserving the place she learned those lessons in. You can get how the glades being destroyed just to shave off a few minutes of commute time affects her. Mabel thankfully doesn't have to handle trying to save the glades all on her own. She's joined by her woodland critter friends in the glades like King George, who rules very kind-heartedly but with a good sense of reality. He has to deal with a cramped space of mammals for a kingdom, but he does it with a smile. He tries to move his subjects in a way that keeps peace amongst them even if a bear needs to eat a beaver.
That sounds nasty for some reason.
Well, that sounds sexual out of context, doesn't it? He's a sweet king who does what's right for his subjects and nature, even though his kingdom keeps shrinking more and more. And just look at his face. You can't be mad at him for anything. Especially with Bobby Moynihan voicing him. For some reason, his voice just makes you not hate his characters, even if they're a kid that sounds like a grown-ass man. The glades have other morbid creatures from different species that live in harmony, but a lot of them have been pushed out of their homes for the land development. So Mabel's connection with nature helps bridge a gap between animals and humans, even if it's through a robot beaver suit.
What an odd thing to say.
Boy oh my, what is this movie? But of course, that does create the liars revealed situation. I'll admit, with the way it's been done in more modern movies, this follows the trend and thankfully keeps it short. I do appreciate when they know the all is lost moments don't need to last that long. There's the mayor Jerry Generoso, who's almost as sleazy a politician as you'd expect. Well, not that sleazy.
Bazing!
He's that mayor that just wants to hold his position however he can, even if he has to bend the rules to do it. But he's not so far gone he deserves the worst fate. More like clearly needs to be hit with some reality to get with the program. He and Mabel come to verbal blows a lot over the glades, and honestly, you can understand both sides on it. You just know both are going way too far in their solutions. It's a great way of not creating a full villain out of a real world problem. Now, just because it's about saving the environment, well, an environment, doesn't mean there's no antagonist. There's definitely some villains in this movie, don't get it twisted. The Animal Council are an assortment of creatures that rule their respective kingdoms, like amphibians, birds, insects, aquatic life. They seem like reasonable rulers until they go in the wrong direction of an eye for an eye against humanity. I mean, again, it's kind of justified, but still. It's all led by a butterfly monarchy, who, when you watch this movie, you will very much understand why they go crazy. Genuinely had my mouth hanging open in the theater at this one moment with them. And another moment, which brings me to the comedy. Definitely one of the top funniest Pixar movies. That We Bare Bears Cartoon Network humor is strong in this one. There's some good laughs in here that I'm gonna be chuckling at for a minute. I've never laughed at yet been more terrified of a shark before in my life. Huh? You'll get that when you go see this movie. The comedy mainly strikes hard because it has a bit of morbid reality. The animals are aware that death is a factor of life and they just accept it with a lot of ease. Well, for the most part, but spoilers. Pixar originals have been on it with keeping the humor up to date. It's between this and Turning Red for funniest Pixar movie. But with every laugh, it also has the drama. Tension between the characters feel genuine. Mabel's struggles with losing her grandma and trying to preserve the glades make you want to stand on a dam filled with dynamite with her.
The what?
Honestly, you can understand where everyone's at and why they would do what they do, even those that go to extremes. They're all living in one big place and they all have to remember that cohabitation takes everyone's participation, be you human or animal. It's a nice environmental message that works to involve all parties.
How did he get a little crown?
You stupid.
Overall, Hoppers is another one of Pixar's best. Be it their funniest or most sincere, Mabel and King George are definitely the heart of the story. Their arc bridges the gap between humans and animals and helps emphasize the importance of cohabitation. The comedy is top-notch with genuine gut-busting laughs. Amazing how a little morbidness can punch up a lighthearted comedy and help you get the message in this case too. The protect the environment message rings strong with its examination of every angle and coming to better understanding of what can be done. It doesn't try to be preachy in any way and instead focuses on the message of coming together to help rather than doing it alone. Every character has a significance to the story that really elevates it and drives home the theme. This is another one of Pixar's greats to think on before the next sequel comes to cause everyone's moods to sour. Hoppers is a Dances with Wolves environment movie that does it better than Avatar. It's a movie that recognizes that we're all a part of one big place and we should treat each other like it, be you human or animal. It makes you feel like you can't be mad because you're part of something bigger.